At one time, I had a limited understanding of what Oliver Gospel did. I thought that they were just a homeless shelter, the temporary homeless shelter, but they are much, much more than that. And I want to welcome Travis McNeil, the executive director. Welcome to the program, first of all.
Thank you so much, Koko. Thank you for having me here.
Yes, and as I mentioned, you are much, much more than just a homeless shelter. You have many programs and services, and want to try to unpack as many of them as possible as time permits. But first of all, would you tell us a little bit about your mission and goal?
Yes, well, wow. The exciting thing is I have 132 years of history to stand upon, and I'm coming up on I guess my first anniversary. Is almost unbelievable as I came here in January and stepped right into COVID, but it has been a great year. And in that year, of course, I've been excited to learn so many things about what the mission has done over that 132 years. It was founded by Reverend Robert Oliver. That's where our name comes from, Robert Oliver. And then they later named the mission Oliver Gospel Mission after he passed away. And as any organization that's over 100 years old, God has used it in so many different ways, I think, to touch so many different people. For example, today, years past, Oliver Gospel primarily served men. And I think a lot of people in the community know that. And in the last 3 years, yes, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. Our staff says it just flew by. We opened a women's and children's facility, our women's center, and it's called Toby's Place. And maybe some people are just hearing that for the first time, but that is so exciting that our ministry now is comprised of not just serving men, but serving women and children. For example, right now we have about 17 women at Toby's Place, and I believe about 10 children. And in the year that I've been here, the greatest blessing that I've had is to be able to see that not only have we had a place for ladies and their children to be, but the most powerful thing is that there has been complete transformation, change, and impact, life-changing impact through the power of Christ's love. That's the part that I like. Through Christ's power.
Let's talk a little bit about the programs that you provide for men and women. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, at our men's center, we have had for years been serving men in downtown Columbia with emergency shelter. And pre-COVID, we have 58 beds where men can come in. And I see that as our opportunity to get to know them. And now we call that program Refresh. They can come in, stay with us 30 days, us get to know them, then get to know us, and hopefully begin that process of making that next step in their lives.
Is homelessness the criteria to be entered into this program?
It is. It is. We primarily and historically have served men and women that are homeless. That do not have anywhere else to go.
And I can imagine that there could be a waiting list because I've been reading some of the statistics that the state of homelessness in Columbia alone is staggering. So how are you managing that?
It really is. And, it's our prayer that God at our Women's Center and our men's, we know that God will bring us the individuals that really want that real life transformation. And believe it or not, that's a hard place. You and I may believe that everyone wants that, but it's a tough decision. It's a real life-changing decision to make that step of faith to say, yeah, I really do want to change. And I do want to be a part of a program that can take several months. And that may be answering your question. What does it take to really get into that real life transformation? It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. So we're ready and willing and have the space and the facilities and the staff to meet a person in their needs for months, to go through our programs and to reach those different steps until they graduate or reach that real point of transformation. But that takes real commitment. And believe it or not, a lot of people are not ready for that. So sometimes people are not just bursting the doors down to be a part of a real program that will result in real life change.
It's more about transforming lives than just giving a bed.
That's correct.
Very good.
For our men, our first point in entry is about giving that bed and providing that meal. And we're hoping that will create that relationship so that they'll want more. Our women's center, Toby's Place, was built primarily to be more of a transitional housing program space that is specifically for a lady and her children or a single lady who know that they're at that point, that they do not want to do this anymore, but I'm ready to take that step of faith and make a change in my life. And it's been incredible to see some of these ladies graduate since I've been here and get jobs and get a car. Mm-hmm. And really you see that life transformation and them proclaiming that they know that they have this because of Jesus.
All right. During the holiday season, I know that you have many needs. You have needs year round, but how can the public help you during the holiday season?
The fall quarter, and that's the season of Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the way into the new year, is the time where our organization looks for the majority of our funding. This is when people like to give. So I would encourage people to go straight to our website at olivergospel.org. And we have a wonderful platform, an easy platform that you can make an online donation, or you can send a check in the mail. Some people like writing checks and send it to us at Oliver Gospel. You can find that address on our website. We need that funding in order to do this very important work. And then some people do like to drop by blankets, socks, and the little wipes, that not the huge containers or the larger containers, but the small ones that are thin that you can open up and they're wet, the wet wipes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. A lot of times people miss that. That is something that we can provide, and people that are homeless, because they can wipe their hands off, they can wipe their face. And that's something a lot of times people forget. I want to encourage everyone that you can now get involved with Oliver Gospel through our volunteer program. We have a community engagement coordinator, Dustin, and we have a wonderful platform on our website that you can sign up. We have places for you to serve, from working in our thrift store to now working in our brand new coffee shop on Taylor Street, to serving hot meals in our men's center, to volunteer projects, to painting, to sprucing up. We have lots of ways that we didn't in the past. And we just know that people love giving back by serving.
All right. It's been a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you so much for your time. Again, Travis McNeil, he's the executive director from Oliver Gospel there on Taylor Street. And once again, if you would give your website.
Yes, you can visit us on our website at olivergospel.org. And please also visit all of our social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.